This is chapter 19 of The War That Saved My Life by Kimberly Brubaker Bradley. The very next day, before Jamie went to school, Miss Smith took us to the post office to register for our identity cards. It was a war thing. We would all get cards to carry with us so that if the Germans invaded, the government could tell who was German and who was English by asking to see our identity cards. They could also tell because the Germans would be speaking a different language. That's what Miss Smith said. While we stood in line, she explained this all over. The world people spoke different, yet not just different the way I sounded different from Miss Smith and Maggie, but different, like actual different words. Jamie wanted to hear different words, so Miss Smith told us some. She said they were in Latin, the only other language she knew. But it's a dead language, she said. Nobody speaks it anymore. Clearly, this wasn't true since she had just been speaking it, but I didn't say so. Jamie asked, "If we kill all the Germans, then their language will be dead." Bam! He pretended to shoot a German. Miss Smith pursed her lips, but we'd gotten to the front of the line, so she didn't reprimand him. Instead, she told the registry man her name, her birthday, and that she wasn't married and didn't have a job, and then she pushed us forward. "Ada Smith and James Smith," she said, "they're living with me." The registry man smiled. "Nice and navy, are they? Must be nice to have family staying. I can see the resemblance, sure enough. The girl has your eyes." "No," Miss Smith said. "They're evacuees. The surname is just a coincidence. I don't know their birth dates," she continued. "It wasn't on their paperwork, and the children couldn't tell me." The man frowned. "A great big lass and lad like that, and they don't know their own birthdays. Are they simple?" I stuck my right foot behind my left and stared at the floor. "Of course not," Miss Smith snapped. "What an ignorant thing to say." The man didn't seem put off by her tone. "Well, that's very nice, I'm sure," he said, "but what am I supposed to put down on the form? The government wants proper birthdays. There isn't a spot for don't know." "Write down April 5th, 1929 for Ada," Miss Smith said. After asking me how much I could remember about Jamie being a baby, she decided long ago I must be 10. For Jamie, put February 15th. She looked down at us. 1933, she said. "We're pretty sure he's 6 years old." The man raised an eyebrow and did as she told him. "What's all that mean?" I asked when we were back out on the street. "Birthdays are days you get presents," Jamie said, gloomily. "And cake for tea, and at school you get to wear the birthday hat." I remember Miss Smith asking us about birthdays when we first came to her, but I'd never heard about a birthday hat. Turns out it's a school thing. At Jamie's school, his teacher posted birthdays on a big calendar, and when it was your birthday, you wore a hat, and everyone made a fuss over you. When Jamie said that he didn't know his birthday, the class had laughed at him, and he hadn't told us that. "But now we have birthdays," Jamie said contentedly. "What you told the man. I'll tell the teacher this afternoon, and she'll write it on her calendar." He smiled at Miss Smith. "What was it?" "February 15th, 1933, Miss Smith said. "It's not your real birthday," I said. "Close enough," Miss Smith said. "February 15th was my father's birthday. Jamie can use it." "Is your father dead?" "No," Miss Smith said. "At least, not so I've heard. I think my brothers would tell me. It doesn't matter if Jamie shares. There's only 365 days in the year, and there's a lot more people in the world than that. Lots of people have the same birthdays." "But it isn't Jamie's real birthday," I said. "No, it's not." Miss Smith turned and bent over so she was looking directly at me. "When I find out your real birthdays, I'll change your identity cards, okay? Promise." "Okay." I didn't mind a temporary lie. "How do you find out?" Miss Smith's nostrils narrowed. "Your mother knows. When she answers my letters, she'll tell us." Could be a long time then. I doubted if I'd ever go to school and wear a birthday hat, but still. Will we have cake for tea on my birthday on the day you told the man?" "Yes," Miss Smith said. A sudden look of sadness washed over her face, and then disappeared so quickly that if I hadn't been looking right at her, I never would have seen it. Sadness, I thought. How did I know that was sadness? And why would Miss Smith be sad? "That was Becky's birthday," Miss Smith said. "It'll be nice to have a reason to celebrate that day again." "That's a lie," I said. I wasn't angry about it, but it was one. Miss Smith forced a laugh. "It's sad, and it isn't. It will be hard for me, but I'd like very much to be happy again." And boys and girls, that was the end of chapter 19 from The War That Saved My Life from Kimberly Brubaker Bradley.